Deep in the heart of Ohio's Amish country, away from the bustling eyes of the world, the Amish renegade was born. Escaping the confines of tradition, Lizzie Ens pursued her passion to become a highly sought-after health and wellness coach, driven by a deep desire to heal and inspire. With a unique ability to awaken the inner commando and renegade within each individual, Lizzie stands as a beacon of hope in a world yearning for change and craving simplicity. Tune in to the only show of its kind, hosted by the Amish renegade herself, Lizzie Ens, on the Lizzie Ens Show.
Welcome back, everyone, for another phenomenal and amazing episode here. I'm super excited to dive into this one because I feel like, oh my gosh, like there's so many people that struggle with this exact issue, which is I'm doing all the things, but the scale won't budge. And today I want to dive into that and explain why this may be happening. Now, before I do that, I just want to invite you in and tell you, hey, if you are at a place where you are in this space of feeling like you've done all the things and you're not getting anywhere, I want to invite you in to go check out my website, undietyou.com. It's linked in the show notes as well, but www.undietyou.com is where you can go and really learn a whole lot more about what my philosophy is, why I do what I do, and what I teach my clients, and how we get to the root of why this is happening. Like, why aren't you able to lose weight despite feeling like you are doing all the things? You're going to the gym and you're working out and you feel like you have to work yourself to death in order to see something happen. You know, whenever I hear someone say, I have to like starve myself and I have to like kill myself through my workouts in order to even see a pound or two happen on a scale, I automatically know there is something wrong. Like either the program that you're on or the things that you're eating and how you're fueling your body and the workouts that you're doing aren't supporting what's going on with the body, or there are internal things going on, internal imbalances going on that doesn't allow your body to respond. Now, let me explain that a little bit. Before I even dive into that, when you go to the website, look at everything that is there, the information. I share a lot of information there, my philosophy and what we focus on. And I do one-on-one coaching and I do group coaching. Now, the group coaching I keep small. I keep it no more than 10 women in that group. And I help men too. So if you're a guy and you're listening to this and you're like, I need help too, you can come work with me too. I do work with men. But if you get to that place and you're like, all right, I'm ready, book a consultation with me. Think of this consultation as booking an appointment with your doctor, except you're booking an appointment with me and you get 45 minutes max with that consultation. And you're not having to get into your car and driving somewhere and then sit in the waiting room and then go see the doctor for maybe 10 minutes, maybe. And they're not even going to be asking your health history. They're not going to be asking, like, what is your goal? What have you tried? What are your symptoms? How are you sleeping? What's your digestion like? What's your energy like? How are you fueling and nourishing your body? What's your sex drive like? They're most likely not going to be asking you all of those things. And that's what you get when you come and you have an appointment with me with that consultation, and it's a deep dive into your health history. And then we work together and I share with you like what I offer and how I work with my clients. And you get to decide, is this the right fit for me? I don't make that decision for you. You get to make that decision for yourself because the power has to be in your hands. And I literally tell every single person this: if it doesn't feel right, it's not right. It has to feel like it is exactly what you want and what you feel like you are needing. And you get to make that decision, not me. So just want to invite you in on that before I dive into the rest of this show today because this is going to be juicy and fun and it's going to be loaded with lots of information. So, with that being said, let me tell you something. If you are in a place of being frustrated and feeling like I have to kill myself at the gym and starve myself and eat salads with chicken on it and whatever the case may be, and say no to all the things, and yet nothing is budging. The fact of the matter is that your body is doing exactly what it is capable of with what it has. I'm going to say that again. Your body is doing exactly what it is capable of with what it has. Let that sink in for a bit. And the reason I want to explain this here is so many times we're like, oh, I'm so frustrated. Like I'm eating fruits and vegetables. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. I'm doing the things. And I'm dieting and I'm restricting and I'm working out and I'm so frustrated. And my body is not listening. First of all, that's an emotion. If you are frustrated, you're talking like that to your body and you're just like angry at your body, that's an emotion and your body will feel it and will hang on to it. Doesn't respond well because that's not love. Okay? So what do I mean about this on a deeper level? What I mean by this is if you are deficient in vitamins and minerals, if you are deficient in protein, if you are deficient in sleep, if your thyroid is off, if your hormones are off, if you're anemic, if your cholesterol is off, if your inflammation markers are elevated, those can be underlying reasons of why your body's not responding well, but it's not the root. It can be an underlying reason, but not the root. The root goes even a step further of why are those things off? So what do I mean by this? The body is constantly trying to bring things into homeostasis. Okay? And if we knew just how incredibly hard the body worked to keep us alive on a daily basis with what it has, not what it needs, but with what it has, we would be so much more grateful for what it does for us and how it keeps us alive. It's incredible when you think about it. It's very, very incredible to think how off things can be internally in your body, your organs, what condition your organs can be in, your muscle, your inflammation, all of the things. It's very, very incredible what your body does to keep you alive. Okay? So once we start, let's take it back just a little bit further. Let me give you an example about cholesterol. So a lot of people are afraid of cholesterol. Oh, if my cholesterol gets too high, which there's an elevated number we should be concerned about. But many people are, for good reason, because their doctor tells them this, very, very scared of an elevated cholesterol level before they need to be scared of it. Cholesterol is like your backbone. What do I mean by that? The backbone to keep you safe. Here's an example. If you have high parasite levels, high heavy metals, high inflammation markers, the cholesterol in the body, we don't want those things to get into our brain because if they cross the blood-brain barrier, we're not going to last that long. That's not good if that stuff gets into the brain. So what actually happens is the cholesterol is your backbone. It will raise, those levels will raise in order to protect your brain. So if you really think about it, that cholesterol is a protector. It protects you, keeps you safe. So the question is not, my cholesterol's high, let me get on a statin. That's not the answer. Now, I'm not saying that you can never get on a statin, but I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper on that one. The question is, why is your cholesterol up? What is going on that is causing your cholesterol to raise up? Okay. Is it parasites? Is it heavy metals? Is it a poor diet? Is it liver congestion? I just put a post out today about what causes liver congestion. And this is something that you should be very aware of, because if you have liver congestion, your cholesterol can go up because of that as well. And something to be very, very aware of. Your triglycerides are really the number and the thing that you want to pay attention to the most when it comes to your cholesterol. Why? Because your triglycerides are actually the things that are the driver behind heart disease and strokes and cardiac arrest and stuff like that. It clogs your arteries, and the things that will raise your triglycerides are things like a highly processed diet, like fast foods, fried foods, high sugar, lots of alcohol, those things. Those are the things that will raise your triglycerides. And so if you want to look at which one of them you should be the most concerned about, it's actually your triglycerides. Those are the things that you want to be really aware of. Now, taking it a step further when it comes to your cholesterol and those underlying issues is, if you have not looked at the parasites and the heavy metals and what your liver health is doing and all that, that's something that you want to be taking a look at. If you've never done a parasite cleanse or a heavy metal detox, you may want to think about it. And that's something that I additionally check, is when I do lab work for people, I additionally will check to see, does someone have high parasites, high heavy metals, high fluoride, aluminum, heavy metals? Did I already say that? I don't remember. Those things matter, because those are the things that can be a root issue, because diseases and illnesses and inflammation, those things are a host for that. So think about this. Your parasites, your heavy metals, your candida, those things in your body. Now, everybody, let me be clear. Everybody has candida in their body. Everybody has parasites in their body. It's not a matter of not having any of it. It's a matter of how much. And if you have too much of it, of those things in your body, now that becomes like a hosting machine for diseases and illnesses and brain fog and bloating and hormone imbalances and thyroid issues, all of those things. The thing about it is that, let's just talk about parasites for a second. Everybody has parasites. We all ingest parasites through the food that we eat. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's in our fruits and vegetables. It's in our meats. Also very, very important to make sure you eat high quality meats. The problem is not ingesting them. The problem is, if you don't have a healthy gut microbiome and a healthy digestive system, and you have things hanging out there that, let's just say, for example, if your large colon has a lot of extra fecal matter in it that's backed up against the wall from years of having a really bad diet and not eliminating everything, which, by the way, here's something that I learned recently. So your large colon is as long as you are tall, okay? And for every foot of colon that you have, they've done studies where people can have anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds of extra fecal matter in their large colon. And the reason for this is, if you're not eliminating every single day. You can also be eliminating every single day, and But if you're not eliminating everything that you need to eliminate, you can still be constipated. And that stuff starts to coat the walls of your colon. And when you have your colon coated with extra fecal matter, that's where candida likes to hang out. That's where parasites like to hang out. And that is why when people start going through a detox, sometimes it can be uncomfortable because you got to get rid of the things. That's why we like binders when we detox. I got to go to my first break here. I cannot believe I'm to my first break already, but I got to go to my first break. But when we come back, I'm going to continue to dive into this, and I'm going to talk a little bit about metabolism and insulin and why these things are really, really important when it comes to weight loss. So don't go anywhere, you guys. I'll be right back.
Hey there, renegades! Are you tired of just going through the motions? Ready to break free and design the life you've always craved? Then you're in luck, because right here, right now, you're in the heart of it all. Every single week on the Lizzie Ens Show, we release a new episode where we dive deep into the hottest topics out there, from health and fitness to mindset, business, and personal growth. But here's the kicker. We're not just here to talk. We're here to make it happen. Join us weekly for discussions that are uplifting, powerful, fun, and relatable. We're all about embracing the incredible potential of our minds and bodies and learning to move with them to reclaim our vitality in every aspect of our lives. So if you're ready to join the revolution and unlock your true potential, tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Because right here, right now, you're in the perfect place to make it all happen.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
You're now listening to the world-renowned and internationally recognized Amish Renegade on the Lizzie Ens Show.
Welcome back, everyone. All right, let's keep diving into this because I'm very, very passionate about this. I want to dive into a little bit more about why undiet you and the purpose behind that, as well as I'm diving into this because it goes back to what does your body need? And your body does not need more diets. Okay, so if you let's just talk about this for a minute because we're talking about weight loss here, and every single person that I'm not kidding, like every single person that comes to me, which I'm always so proud, says, listen, I want to lose weight and that is part of my goal, but I want to feel better first. And it always makes me so proud because they already understand that just losing weight on its own isn't going to solve their problems. Listen, you can try to diet as much as you want and go on as many cleanses and detoxes and restrictive dieting as you want and try to lose weight as quickly as you want. But if you don't fix what is really going on internally, where those imbalances are and what your body is doing, you're going to get away with it for a while. But the reason that people can first couple times maybe when they go through like a really hard diet phase in terms of very, very restricting, it may work. I'll give you an example. So for myself, way, way back, I used to diet. I have fat diet after fat diet after fat diet. And you know why? Because I wanted the quick fix. One of the worst ones that I did was called the lemonade diet. And basically what you did is for an entire week or longer. I think the longest I did it was 14 days, which is a long time. I would never do that now. But it was called the lemonade diet. And what you did is you didn't eat anything. All you did is drink lemonade water, and it had lemons in it, maple syrup in it, which served as your IV, cayenne pepper, and I think that was it. I really think that was it. And the first time that I did it for 7 days, and I lost 10 pounds. And I was like, I was hooked. I was like, 10 pounds in 7 days? This is amazing. Most people that do that, they don't keep the weight off. I, for some reason, was able to keep the weight off. So I slowly like brought food back in, went back to pretty much eating what I was eating before, which is like sign number one. If whatever it is you're doing to quickly lose weight isn't teaching you like sustainable, healthy habits for long term, you probably shouldn't be doing it unless it's done in a way that is because of a medical reason. So here's what I usually tell people is the only time that you should be doing any kind of like really restrictive diet is if there's a medical reason for you to do it. Let me explain. Epilepsy. So epilepsy, the ketogenic diet was created for people with epilepsy because they discovered when people go into ketosis and they are in ketosis, it helps their epilepsy symptoms. And that's what they discovered. And so they said, okay, so people with epilepsy do best on a ketogenic diet for some reason. And then the diet industry got a hold of it, and they realized that some people can lose weight rather quickly on a ketogenic diet because they go into ketosis. And there's this whole thing behind it. Now, I know for myself, I would do terrible on a ketogenic diet. Now, I eat a lot of protein and a lot of fat, but there's parts of me that I 100% know that I also need more than 25 grams of carbs a day. And so hormonally for myself, I would do absolutely terrible on this. Now, what happened is back when I did the 7-day detox, I lost that 10 pounds, and then it became a cycle where if I was like, oh, let me just see if I can lose another 10 pounds, even if I didn't need to, but I wanted to see if I could do it. I was obsessed with trying to be like skinny, and there's a whole story behind that. I think a lot of us have those stories, and maybe we just don't talk about it. But so I would go back to it. And I was still doing this when I went to training school, like personal training school. And I remember the last time that I did the diet, and by then I was like working out consistently, and I really started to cause some damage. And so here's what can happen if you would do years of dieting, like like extreme fat dieting, where you're cutting so many things out and you're depriving yourself of nutrients. The first go around, you may do okay. But then when you keep going back to it because you know it worked before, but you keep going back to it, you're like, why isn't it working this time? Well, you've already depleted your body of nutrients that it needs. You've depleted it. And now it can't function the way that it needs to. And what also starts to happen, we're going to dive into metabolism, is we start reducing our metabolism. And this can start affecting your thyroid. This can start affecting your liver. There's many layers to it. There's no one thing that affects it. It's layers and layers of things. So talking about metabolism and dieting is if you are constantly dieting, your body doesn't even know like what you're doing anymore. And it doesn't know what to expect. And so, I don't like to use the term starvation mode, like, oh, your body's going into starvation mode. I don't really like to use that term because it doesn't really make sense to me. But what I do know is extreme dieting over multiple years, multiple times, whatever the case may be, can slow down your metabolism. And here's why. Because your calories are an energy. So when you consume a calorie, you're consuming energy. Okay. Now, every single person has a basal metabolic rate, which is called your BMI. And that basal metabolic rate could be, for myself, it may be like, hey, 1,500 calories is my basal metabolic rate. And that basal metabolic rate is the amount of calories that I need in order to maintain my organs, my let's just say, for example, it's your energy at rest. This is how I explain it. It's like if you decide to Netflix all day and you're like, I'm just gonna be a couch potato and I'm gonna watch Netflix all day long. Do you still get hungry? Yes. Because as long as your body is alive and breathing, you're burning energy. Okay? That's why we still get hungry. Your basal metabolic rate will support you sitting on the couch watching Netflix all day. I don't recommend it, but I'm just saying you still get hungry, right? So that's the base number, okay? And then your total daily energy expenditure is how active you are. So if you are lightly active, or you're moderately active, or you're highly active, determines how many calories you need in order to maintain where you're at. So if I said, hey, I want to maintain where I'm at, I got to go to my activity level, and my activity level could be moderate if I, work out X amount of days a week, but I sit, at a desk a good portion of the day to do my work and stuff. It determines how active I am. So let's just say my total daily energy expenditure at maintenance is at 2,200 calories, which is not uncommon for me. And I said I didn't want to lose any weight. Well, in order to maintain my weight where I'm at and still support my metabolism and my hormones and my thyroid and my activity level and all the things, I should be eating around 2,200 calories a day because I want to maintain, right? Now, if I want to lose weight, then I'm going to reduce the number of calories from the total daily energy expenditure. So I'm going to create a calorie deficit from that number, not from your BMI, from your total daily energy expenditure. But here's the thing that happens so many times with so many people, probably 9 out of 10 people that I coach and that come in are actually under eating their BMI number, because 95% of my clients are women, and that's just very common because we've been told eat less, weigh less, right? But what starts to happen is if we are continuously eating under our basal metabolic rate, number one, we're not supporting our metabolism, we're not supporting our thyroid, we're not supporting our hormones because we get a monthly cycle, right? We're not even supporting the base energy that we need. And what that starts doing is we start robbing our body. So we're going to circle it back to the beginning where I said the body is doing what it can with what it has. That's what I mean. It is doing what it can with what it has. Doesn't mean it's optimal, but it is still alive and it is running. Okay. So now it has to start pulling energy from other areas because it's not getting it from food. So it's going to start pulling it from other areas and create other health issues because it has to pull it from somewhere to try to keep you alive and keep you in homeostasis. And people wonder why they're tired. They wonder why they can't sleep. They wonder why they have brain fog. They wonder why they don't want to go work out, because you're not eating enough to support your basal metabolic rate for your body to even function at minimum. That will slow down your metabolism. After years and years of chronic undereating, you can be overweight and chronically undereating. Doesn't that sound like an oxymoron? Like, how's that even possible? But think about this. If your body is malnourished and it's deficient in a lot of things, it doesn't mean that it loses weight. For some people, they will lose weight. It depends on genetics, DNA makeup, like depends on what's going on. For some people, it will be like that. But I cannot tell you how many times I have helped women that were like, I need to lose 50 to 100 pounds. But when I look at their dietary intake, I'm like, okay, here's reason number one why you're not sleeping, why you're tired all the time, why you have brain fog, why your periods are irregular, and why you are so deficient in your vitamins and minerals. And then one of the number one reasons for that is that they're simply not eating enough to even support their basal metabolic rate. And then most of the time, they're also not eating the right types of food. So there is parts of that too. It's not just calories in, calories out, doesn't matter what food you're eating. No. That you want to eat nutrient dense foods so that you can get the most out of the food that you are eating. But that is how the metabolism works and why it is so incredibly important that you support it with enough food and with the right types of foods. All right, I got to go to my second break here. But when we come back, we're going to continue to dive into this. So guys, don't go anywhere. I'm Lizzie Ens on the Lizzie Ens Show. We'll be right back.
Hey there, renegades! Are you tired of just going through the motions? Ready to break free and design the life you've always craved? Then you're in luck, because right here, right now, you're in the heart of it all. Every single week on the Lizzie Ens Show, we release a new episode where we dive deep into the hottest topics out there, from health and fitness to mindset, business, and personal growth. But here's the kicker. We're not just here to talk. We're here to make it happen. Join us weekly for discussions that are uplifting, powerful, fun, and relatable. We're all about embracing the incredible potential of our minds and bodies and learning to move with them to reclaim our vitality in every aspect of our lives. So if you're ready to join the revolution and unlock your true potential, tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Because right here, right now, you're in the perfect place to make it all happen.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
You're now listening to the world-renowned and internationally recognized Amish Renegade on the Lizzie Ens Show.
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, I need to dive into sleep here for a minute. So I mentioned the whole thing about like not eating enough and how it can affect your sleep. Yes, that's very true. So what can happen with that is if you are not eating enough, but specifically eating enough protein, it doesn't help your body feel safe. So here's what can happen. When you are consistently under eating, you can create insulin resistance and blood sugar dysregulation. So what can happen is if you let if you're not eating enough and your body doesn't feel safe, your blood sugars will drop low. And therefore, that can raise your cortisol and put you in a fight or flight, and therefore wake you up in the middle of the night. And so a lot of people I cannot stress this enough, like if you want success with your healing journey, sleep has to be a high priority. Like so incredibly high. Like you have to get sleep. Here's why. If you're not getting sleep, your body is not resting, digesting, and healing. And to take it a step further, when it comes to your brain, when we are in REM sleep, when we're sleeping, there are specific hormones that go into our brain to clean out our brain. Okay? Well, cleaning through our other organs happens at night as well. So the other thing that can happen is if you are going through a detox phase and you got to do like a liver cleanse or liver detox, whatever the case may be, sometimes you wake up throughout the night because that's when your body is actually detoxing, because you're not moving around, you're not giving it food and stuff like that. And so sometimes when people are on a detox protocol, some people will wake up at night because their body's actually detoxing. It's just part of the process, part of the phase. However, if you want your body to heal and you want your metabolism to get fired up again, you need sleep, and you feel like a completely different person once you start getting enough sleep. I cannot tell you how many times I have had people that I've been working with, and one of the top things that we work on is to get good sleep schedule in place and good sleep habits. And these people feel, these clients of mine, they feel like a completely different human being once they are getting enough sleep. They're like, yeah, I can wake up in the morning and I wake up without an alarm. I feel energetic. I had this one girl tell me one time, she's like, I feel so good the entire day that I'm so excited about things that I'm doing in life and all that. She's like, I don't even really want to go to bed because I just want to continue. but she doesn't. Like, she goes to bed, gets her 8 hours of sleep, then gets up in the morning and feels amazing for the day. And I've had so many people that are like, I don't even drink coffee anymore because I don't need it. And that's not me saying give up coffee, because let's be honest, I love coffee, but I love coffee because I love the taste of it. Like, I just love it. If I didn't love coffee, like the taste of coffee, I'd be like, let me just get off of this and I'm good to go. But there's something about it that I love. But if you're not someone that's like, oh, I drink coffee for the flavor, you can probably, if you get the right things into your body, you'd be like, I don't need it anymore. If you're getting sleep, water, nutrients, all of those things. So you have to make sleep a high priority if you want to help your body heal and feel better. And it also aids in weight loss. Ta-da! Let's talk a little bit about fat loss versus weight loss versus muscle. Have you ever heard the term that muscle weighs more than fat? I mean, that term was going around like years ago. I remember when I was early on in my training career, I would hear that all the time. People like, yeah, muscle weighs more than fat. That's why, like, you could weigh more, but you don't look like you do. And I was like, how's that possible? And so finally people started coming out and they're like, oh no, muscle doesn't weigh more than fat. It just is more dense, so it takes up less space. So let me give you an example. 5 pounds of fat may take up the same space as 1 pound of muscle. All right. So sometimes when people like go to the gym and they start strength training and working out, they're like, well, the scale's not budging, but I'm losing inches and my body fat is going down. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, for some people, they may be like, well, but I want to lose weight because I felt the best when I weighed at this. Well, the question you have to ask yourself is, was that 10 years ago? Was that 15 years ago? Was it 20 years ago? Like, at what point in time was that weight and you're now trying to get back to that weight? If you are in your 40s and you're trying to get to a weight that you were at in your 20s, you're trying to go backwards. Instead, because your body changes. Instead, what you want to look at is, okay, I am 10, 15, 20 years older than I was. My body has gone through a lot. Maybe you're a mom and you now have kids and things are differently. Your body changes. What you want to look at instead is, okay, I'm not going to try to go back to the weight that I was at. I'm going to figure out what the new healthy weight is for my body now and today. And that doesn't mean that weight loss is irrelevant. However, I would much rather see someone that has maybe 10 pounds more weight on them, but that weight has become muscle and they've lost inches and they've gotten their body fat down versus just losing weight in general. Because you can just lose weight in general, but if you're not getting good, healthy skeletal muscle, then how is that helping you in the long run? Now, I'm not saying that the weight loss is irrelevant. What I'm saying is muscle health is far superior. So if you are getting into your 40s and into your 50s, you want to think about what are you preventing in the future, specifically for women. Because as women age and get into their perimenopause and menopause years, postmenopause years, one of the things that will happen is we'll get, drops in hormones. And by the drops in our hormones, that can cause a lot of women to go into osteopenia, osteoporosis. But what you can do to help with that is support it with a good, healthy diet that will help your metabolism and strength training, not cardio. Now, I'm not saying you can't do any kind of cardio, but cardio shouldn't be your primary thing because you want to get skeletal muscle built and it helps with bone health too. And cardio alone, like just running or just doing the elliptical and stuff like that, that's not necessarily going to build your skeletal muscle and or your bone health. It may help some, but not even close to what strength training will do. So I cannot stress that enough that how important that is because it will also help with your metabolism. Actually, I've been watching this lady, Chalene Johnson, which is so funny. I used to do back in my early days of getting into health and fitness stuff before I was even a personal trainer. I remember having Chalene Johnson's DVDs in my house, and I would like do her. It was her and Jillian Michaels, those two women, and I never thought back then, when I think back, I never thought I would see the day where I would be like, oh yeah, like I know her. Like I'm like friends with one of her friends. And she's amazing, but she's gone through menopause. And one of the things that she recently has talked about is she switched from doing a lot of HIIT training and a lot of like obsessive cardio, and what she switched to is walking, like long walking, but like very specific walking, like brisk walking. And what that allowed her body to do is go more into the fat burning zone, and she's not causing as much stress on her body. And based on like what she's been sharing, that has actually accelerated her physique, where she's able to maintain her physique a lot better. She actually lost weight. And so doing that plus strength training has really helped her in her menopause and postmenopause years. And so for myself, like I personally, I don't feel well if I do lots of cardio. Now, I think that specific cardio is important for heart health and your lungs and all of that. Like you need that going, and it helps you detox. And I was talking with someone yesterday. I said, I don't really sweat when I just strength train, because it doesn't like come easy for me. Like I don't, sweating is not really something that happens when I lift. The only way that I can get myself to sweat is if I go do some cardio. But you know what I can do? And this is one of the most effective ways that I've found out is if you go on a treadmill and you walk on an incline of like 15 incline. So you have a 15 incline on your treadmill and you do like a 2.5 to 3.0 speed, depending on how tall your legs are. And you have that walk for like 30 minutes, you will be dripping when you get done on the treadmill. And that is much healthier on your adrenals and your joints. And if you have things like autoimmune and hormones and stuff like that going on, but the kicker is that's actually what puts you in the fat burning zone. not going for a long distance run. So you keep yourself in the fat burning zone while you're doing that, and you're getting a nice sweat going on. And that is much more effective than getting on a treadmill and running for 3 miles in terms of your weight and your adrenals and your hormones and stuff like that. The reality is everybody's body can be so different. So the big kicker is that you have to know and be in tune with what feels good for your body and listen to it. And sometimes the art of listening to our body the art of listening to our body we've become so disconnected. And I literally had this thought yesterday. I'm like, we've become so disconnected with our bodies and we don't even know what it's telling us anymore. And the more we are disconnected with our bodies and listening to its signals and what is it really needing and what is it telling us that it needs, and that intuition and that gut feeling, the longer it's going to take in order for the body to heal. So it's incredibly important that we learn how to be in tune with our bodies. And there are things in our lives like trauma and all kinds of stuff that have made us get to a place of not even paying attention to what our body's telling us. So if I can stress anything, it is, hey, either work with someone or learn how do I actually get in tune with my body again. I got to go to my last break here, but when we come back, I'm going to talk about some foundational things that I want to talk about if you are in this place of where do I start? So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Renegades! Are you tired of just going through the motions? Ready to break free and design the life you've always craved? Then you're in luck, because right here, right now, you're in the heart of it all. Every single week on the Lizzie Ens Show, we release a new episode where we dive deep into the hottest topics out there, from health and fitness to mindset, business, and personal growth. But here's the kicker. We're not just here to talk. We're here to make it happen. Join us weekly for discussions that are uplifting, powerful, fun, and relatable. We're all about embracing the incredible potential of our minds and bodies and learning to move with them to reclaim our vitality in every aspect of our lives. So if you're ready to join the revolution and unlock your true potential, tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Because right here, right now, you're in the perfect place to make it all happen. You're now listening to the world-renowned and internationally recognized Amish Renegade on the Lizzie Ens Show.
All right, you guys, we are at the tail end of this show today. And I want you guys to just really think about everything that was discussed here today. And also, if you're listening to this show, whatever platform you're on, don't forget to leave a review. Tell me how you like it, what your thoughts were. And honestly, I don't take anything less than a 5-star review. So just know that. Hit the 5 stars. This helps get that boosted in the algorithm. Share it with your friends and your family, because that gets it out to more people as well. So anyone and everyone that you think you could benefit from listening to this conversation, please share it. I'm very, very grateful for all of you guys. And lastly, I'm going to bring it back to what I said in the beginning. Go to my website, www.undietU.com, and look at the information that's on there. Look at what is my philosophy, what do I work on, how I may be able to help you. And if you're feeling good about it, book a consultation with me and let's get you feeling better. Every single person that comes to me, we get labs done. And if you have not done labs, or maybe you haven't done enough labs, or it's been a long time since you've done labs, it's probably time for you to do that. Now, what are some things that you can do today? So I actually have something called the Foundations of Health program. And this is a done-for-you program where I walk you through the nutrition. There's meal plan examples, like meal examples, there's recipes, and then I walk you through sleep, why sleep is so important and how you can implement sleep habits, and water, why water is so important and how you can start increasing your water intake and how important that is. And then you also get access to a workout program for 3 months because activity is so incredibly important. It's called the Foundations of Health. And if you are someone that has sort of just been always dieting and you're grabbing onto the next thing, this is for you. If you're like, I'm not ready for a coach, but I want some kind of guidance and some kind of help, this is where I want you to start. It's also on my website under programs or products, but what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this is in the show notes as well. So you can just go there and grab it. It's called Foundations of Health. We cover all of it. We cover your nutrition, what it looks like to have a balanced diet, how to plate your food, what you want to be focusing on to have a balanced approach to things versus dieting. And it teaches you that. And then your sleep and your water and your exercise. I cannot stress enough. Here's what I tell every single person. It doesn't matter where you are at in terms of your health, whether you have hormone imbalances, hypothyroidism, you have candida issues, you have parasites, you need a detox, you have other things going. It literally doesn't matter like where you are at. The most important part of your health and healing journey is getting this foundation down. And you don't need labs in order to get that down. You really don't. Every single person that I work with in terms of clients that come in and work with me, the first thing we start working on is looking at, okay, what is your diet like and what can we start implementing? How much water are you having? How can we start upping that? How much are you sleeping and what sleep habits do we need to implement and put in place to make sure that you're getting enough sleep? And then what kind of movement do you implement each day? Are you really sedentary? If you're not doing anything, you're going to start with 30 minutes of walking just to get into the habit. We do that before we even have all the labs back and we know like what's all going on internally. And even just doing that for a week or two, every single person starts feeling better because it starts with that. The lab work and the testing and all that stuff that we do, highly, highly, highly important, but it's a bonus and it helps us make your plan better. It helps us look at what vitamins and minerals do you need to help your body feel better. And, but what I will tell you is just getting on supplements is not enough. You have to get things in through your diet. What are you having? How are you eating? How much are you eating? Have you ever looked at how much you're eating? Do you know how much protein you're having? Like all of those things, it's an educational experience. I always tell people is like what I teach you is what people should have learned in high school. So you don't have to like unlearn all these things and implement it in. So whenever I coach and mentor parents, I'm like, you have to teach your kids this stuff because you don't want your kids to have to do the things that you're doing now. So teach your kids what I'm teaching you so that they can feel equipped and understand what they need to fuel and nourish their body with. Very, very important. That way they're not going off to high school and college and all of a sudden, they're dealing with the same or worse health issues that you dealt with because you just didn't know. But it starts in the home. It starts with parents teaching the kids, but how can the parent teach the kids if they don't know? So it starts with you. Guys, this was so much fun for me. I hope it was incredibly helpful for you. And again, please share this with your friends, your family. Tag me on social media when you are listening to this and when you listen to the episode, because I want to know what your thoughts are, how you're liking it, and send me topics, what you want me to talk about, because I'm always looking for new things. See you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you then.
This show is made possible with your support. Tune in to The Lizzie Ens Show every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific Time, and around the world at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. And don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends.